Hello everybody, welcome back, and I am the Charnic. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about companions. Yes, companions in the next Fallout 4 DLC. Yes, indeed. Now, the big question is, that I've been wondering to myself, is there going to be more companions that we could have follow us and trade and talk and dialogue and storyline and everything? Or are we just gonna stick to the same old, followers that we got at the beginning of Fallout 4, the main game anyway? Or are we actually gonna get new followers? That's a big question that we're asking ourselves in this video. Now, I'm basically asking you guys for your opinion. Do you think that there should be more followers? Should there be more companions? Maybe like one for every DLC that comes out. And will there be? And we're going to speculate that real quick in this video about, whether there should be more companions, whether we'll just stick to the same ones, or, we're just going to have some added dialogue with the same ones that we had before, with the originals. We're all going to talk about in this video, but so the first thing we're going to talk about is the companions we got currently. Now, to be honest, I like the fact that we only have a few companions and we don't switch between so many different ones, and that they have like their own stories, and I really like that, and like how they have such expansive dialogue for everything, so much better than all the other Bethesda games, all the other RPGs like Skyrim and past Fallouts, where they barely said much at all, and they never judged you on your actions. They barely judged you on your actions. And so with their likes and dislikes and all this, it seems a lot more realistic and a lot better and a lot more immersive. So currently, I like the fact that we only have a few companions that we really grow to like and all that. And if you actually notice that they have a companion for every faction in the game. So for example, they have Piper, which is like the follower / companion, that's a settler, that's someone that's a common citizen. As we now have also Kate, who is a raider girl. She's kind of was a part of the raiders, or she at least kind of represents what they were like, I guess you could say, even though she's not a raider and she's not like them, I guess you could say. But she kind of represents their faction with her, background, history, and her personality. And then we have a couple synths. We got Paladin Dance, who is part of the Brotherhood. You guys could argue whether or not he's actually a synth. There's actually huge speculation and actually a lot of evidence saying he's not, such as the Institute didn't even know that he was a synth. Maybe they at least the Courser didn't, if you actually read that dialogue. So, but I'm not going to get into that argument. But for now, I'm going to say he's a synth. But Paladin Dance, anyway, he's a follower that you could obtain from the Brotherhood of Steel. We have Deacon, he's a follower that you could obtain from the Railroad. We got, X688, I believe is a Courser name for your follower from the Institute. And then we got, of course, Preston Garvey, one that gives you all the settlement quests. He is your follower from the Minutemen. So basically, and then we also have Hancock, who is, the representative follower from Good Neighbor and of the Ghouls. He's a ghoul, and we also have Dogmeat, who's a dog, so he's representing the race of dogs, I guess you could say. But he's, your loyal companion. He'll never leave you, no matter what you do. So, it kind of represents dogs anyway. They don't care what you do; they still love you, kind of thing. So I like that they kind of implemented that in this game also. He doesn't have any likes or dislikes for what you do. He loves you for who you are. That's adorable, isn't it? Anyway, so we have a dog, and we also got a super mutant. We got a super mutant. We got a dog. We got an animal. We got a super mutant. We got humans. We got synths. So, and we even have robots. We've got freaking Codsworth, and we got Curie, who eventually turns into a synth. But we have pretty much all these different factions or races in the game. And so who could possibly be a new race, or who's going to be representing a new faction? So that's what I'm going to guess, is that if we're going to have companions in the next game, every companion that is given to us is there's probably one from each faction, or they will be representing a race or something. so we'll get one from each one of those different. So because we already have a ghoul Hancock, I don't think we'll get another ghoul unless it's a female. So maybe representing the female ghouls. But besides that, like, I don't think we're gonna get another ghoul. I don't know if we'll get another human, because we already have humans. We got every single kind of race and faction within the Commonwealth. So basically, we even got, I forgot about Matt Greedy. He's a mercenary. He represents like the mercenary gunner faction. So you could see that they gave you one companion for each of like their views, for what they've been through and how they view things. And I really like that the Bethesda did that. So I'm going to guess that if they're going to add more followers, they're going to have their own views that are different from everybody. They're going to be part of something completely different, a completely different faction. They'll be representing something completely different. Like, that's just my main point. If they're going to have new follower, that's what it's going to be. So now next question is kind of like, who is it going to be? Like, should we have another human follower? Should we have another synth follower? To be honest, I think we have too many synth followers. I think 4 is a lot. But we also have a lot of human followers. We have 1 dog follower, and we got 2 Mr. Handy followers, and then we got a super mutant follower. So I was also thinking, okay, if we had something completely different, either we could have a different robot. So we could have maybe an Assaultron follow us around that actually has a name. Perhaps we could have, say, a kid follow us around. Maybe we could actually have Sean follow us around, you know? Maybe he actually they don't fight or anything, but maybe they could have expansive dialogue that, you know, he will reveal to you about the time he's spent in the Institute or something, you know? That's just an idea. I think I'd love that. Like, if you could have Sean follow you around and you could just talk to him. Maybe he won't, like, fight or anything, but he'll just, like, watch and, like, comment on the things you do. And then kind of open up to you over time and reveal information about his time in the Institute to you. I think that's perfect. So anyway, but let's go back to the point where, so we could possibly have a robot follower. We could possibly have a kid follower, maybe. Also, in terms of creatures, we could maybe have, or entirely different race, maybe we could have even an alien follower, because we haven't actually had an alien follower yet, and obviously aliens are confirmed and canon in the Fallout series. We got, that one scene where the alien falls from the sky of the UFO and you have to kill it to get that blaster. But maybe if the next one of these DLCs contains some alien plotline, heck yes, we would get an alien follower. I mean, if it had something to do with aliens and stuff, which I kind of don't really feel like we need, because I feel like it's a cool little mysterious aspect that doesn't really need to be expanded upon. I think it's best that it doesn't. But that's just a fact, something we could look at. Again, we could also have more followers of different races. Maybe we could have, a different wasteland creature. I think we should have a different, a creature, another, animal besides dog meat. To be honest, I know that we have, the wasteland perks and, you could make an animal follow you, but they will die. They're not essential, and they don't have a name. They're just, they just follow you and protect you. So I think we need to have another essential creature. I don't know what that creature would be yet. Maybe it could be a Deathclaw. Yes, that would be freaking awesome, because I remember doing that one quest when I returned the egg to the Deathclaw, and I was like, okay, give me your services, and it just, stared at me, and I'm like, no! I wanted it to follow me. So, oh my gosh. But anyway, so that's all my ideas for who could be the follower. I mean, we have to be reasonable here. It just depends on what the DLCs are about, who the factions are involved. If, say, the Enclave return, for example, we'll probably have an Enclave follower. So those are just examples. And they will have to pertain. Each one will have to represent, and there'll be only one from each faction that will represent, or a race or a faction that they represent. There'll be one from each of those, if that makes sense. But will they? Now, the next thing we're going to ask ourselves is, will they? Will they have more companions? The thing is, I actually doubt it. I know I talked about how, what we could possibly have, but I actually doubt that they're going to add followers in the DLCs, mainly because they would have to add all the dialogue from the main game to these characters as well, unless these characters are strict and they cannot leave the areas that the DLCs are placed in. So if it's like placed in New York, for example, like maybe they can only be your follower in New York and they can't journey with you back to the Commonwealth. In that case, I guess you could add more companions as long as they don't travel with you back. But yet again, if Bethesda does actually have more dialogue for every follower companion that they give you in the DLCs, that they'll have to add a whole bunch of dialogue, extended dialogue for all the main events that happened in the Commonwealth. Of course, they can do that. They don't have to, but it would make sense, and it would take a lot of time and effort to add these companions to the main story and just to have all that dialogue. And I think the characters we have now, the companions we have now, are gonna have just added dialogue. Maybe if we allow to travel with these companions to the different DLC regions, they'll probably have more added on dialogue. So I say, in the very least, we would probably have more dialogue, extensive dialogue for all the characters that we currently have. They will probably have more added on dialogue for the maps and DLCs that we get and all the events that happen in there. So that's a lot that Bethesda has to deal with. Like, they have to come up with dialogue not only for your character, but for your companions as well, if they choose to, allow your companions to travel with you to those different DLC regions. So that's something to think about. So I say at the very least they could definitely add onto that. Now, if it's within the Commonwealth, I don't think that they would add any more companions on if it was within the Commonwealth. To be honest, they would probably just add dialogue to the characters we already have. And so maybe, but if it's within the Commonwealth, I would also like to see maybe a companions DLC where we actually get more and more side quests from the companions, because we did a personal quest for each one in order to get the highest affinity with them, such as you could see with this one quest I'm doing with Nick Valentine. This is his personal quest that you do with him. And so basically I want more quests, and I want more things to do with our followers that we have currently, and that could just range from quests to doing stuff with them to making jokes to just make a lot more added on dialogue. That's what I really want, to be honest. And to be fair, that's what I want the most. And so just added on dialogue is what I want personally. Do you guys think that we're going to have more events, more DLC for our characters? Or do you think there's going to be brand new companions? What do you guys want? I know I rambled a lot in this video over kind of the same subject of, hey, should we bring these characters, should we bring them into the new DLC areas? Should we have more added on content for these ones? Or should we have brand new companions? It's all up to you guys, and I know it's all up to Bethesda, really, whether they're gonna do that or not. But do you think they should? Or are you fine with the fact that we stick with the main characters and we focus on the main characters in terms of main companions, obviously, is what I'm referring to? Do you think we should just focus on them, or should we expand and get some more companions and more quests for them as well? And finally, I know some weirdos out there want to change their companion's appearance, so maybe perhaps we could have some facial expression, facial reconstruction, hair design, clothing, blah 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 design, for our characters, because some people want to change the appearance to make them look more attractive or more liking to them, I guess, which I don't understand, but okay. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I love you all. Peace out. Thank you very much.